Hello world, welcome to United Cuisines, your show for international recipes. In this episode we want to try another dish from the Philippines, and it shall be a dessert. A dessert that is not only sweet and tasty, but also rich and refreshing. It is served frozen, which makes it a great option for long, hot summer days. So let's make some in this episode. All we need are a few juicy ripe mangoes from your friendly fruit vendor, 2 cups of heavy cream which impatiently wait to be whipped up, a pack of graham crackers, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and last but not least, sweet, thick goodness in form of condensed milk. Let's start by cutting our mango in half, as close to its seed as possible, and spooning its flesh out. If your mango is ripe, this should work out effortlessly. Alternatively, peel off the skin using a knife or potato peeler and just then cut the mango in half. Once we got our hands on the sweet flesh, we want to cut it in long, thin stripes of around 2 mm or 1/10 of an inch. Do this with around 3 half mangoes and cut the 4th one in sort of cube form shapes of around 1.5 centimeters or half an inch. Put them on a plate and set aside, preferably in the fridge. Next up, get your glass dish of choice and spread a first layer of graham crackers over its bottom. I used a round form, which came in handy since the graham cracker substitutes I found were round too. Also, it gave my final product a more cake-like look, but feel free to use a rectangular shape, especially if you can get your hands on graham crackers. Set aside and let's whip some cream, for which we take our chilled bowl out of the freezer, pour 2 cups of heavy cream in there and start beating it. Preferably use an electric hand mixer on medium-high speed, and after a few minutes the cream should more or less double in volume. Before it gets perfectly whipped, while still a bit runny, we want to add the condensed milk as well as a teaspoon of vanilla extract and finish whipping the cream while incorporating the other ingredients together. If you have ever over-whipped cream, you know that it's not a pretty sight. So be cautious and reduce the speed once you notice the cream thickening. If small stiff peaks start forming, you reach your destination. If in doubt, I would suggest to better stop beating sooner than later. Eventually you want a consistency close to this. You can see stiff peaks forming on the surface of the cream when I pull the strip beaters out. Maybe I could have beaten it for a few more seconds and stiffened it a bit further. Anyways, moving on to assembling our mango float. We want to stack crackers, cream and mango 3 times in total, ending up with a delicious 9-story building. So make sure to portion your cream accordingly. In my case it was 5 to 6 tablespoons per layer, which I spread as evenly as possible before nicely putting half of the sliced mango stripes on top. Follow up with crackers, break them apart where necessary and fill up as many of the gaps as possible. Repeat the process, spreading cream, mango slices, crackers and some more cream. For the final layer, use the cubed mango pieces and distribute them as nicely and evenly as possible. I think I could have done a better job here, maybe using a small spoon would have been helpful. But anyways, don't worry too much about it, your mango float will taste great even if it doesn't look perfect. Just cover the dish with its lid or plastic wrap and transfer to the fridge for at least 4 hours, within which the cream will set and moisture the crackers, softening them a bit. In order to make the waiting process a bit easier, you can snack on the remaining mango and whipped cream. You can also clean up in the meanwhile, and if you have any crackers left, you can crush them and decoratively sprinkle them around the dish's edge. Unfortunately, after 4 hours of fridge time, your mango float shall spend at least 6 more hours in the freezer, better overnight. This will give it an almost ice cream-like consistency, which we found very enjoyable during hot summer days such as today. Our recipe yields 6 to 8 portions. Using a knife, you can cut yourself and loved ones a slice or 2 and keep the remainder of the float in the freezer. Give it 5 to 10 minutes of thought time and enjoy with your favorite dessert drink. Bon appétit!